I think he's a great prime minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because no, he is a very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he can be nasty. He can be very nasty, maybe as nasty as anybody.
Washington, D.C. A diplomatic shockwave rippled through North America after an unexpected meeting at the White House left both allies and critics speechless. For the first time since his return to the presidency, Donald Trump publicly praised Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, calling him a world-class leader and a tough negotiator who knows what he's doing. But behind those smiles, analysts say, something far more complicated is brewing, a new political chess match that could redefine U.S. Canada relations for years to come. According to White House insiders, the Oval Office meeting was anything but routine. Trump and Carney spent over 2 hours behind closed doors, discussing everything from trade wars and border policies to energy cooperation and even defense strategies in the Arctic. What started as a friendly working session, sources claim, turned into a tense debate about economic sovereignty, military cooperation, and, most surprisingly, a secret proposal for a North American energy alliance that could give Washington partial control over Canada's natural resources. Trump, known for his fiery rhetoric, struck an unusually diplomatic tone when speaking to reporters afterward. "We've come a long way over the last few months," he said, turning toward Carney. "He's a world-class leader. He's a good man, does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator." Then, in typical Trump fashion, he added with a grin, "Because I want to be a great man, too." The press room erupted in laughter, but many noticed the tension between the two leaders. Carney smiled politely, yet his body language told a different story: stiff posture, careful words, measured tone. "There are areas where we compete," Carney replied, "but there are far more where we're stronger together." It was a diplomatic response, but also a quiet reminder that Canada will not be bullied or bought. However, moments later, sources inside the Canadian delegation leaked what appeared to be a draft framework discussed during the private portion of the meeting. If true, it could change everything. The alleged document outlines an agreement where Canada would grant the U.S. broader access to its energy grids, oil pipelines, and Arctic shipping routes, in exchange for full tariff relief and guaranteed protection of Canadian manufacturing under the USMCA. In essence, Trump offered Carney a deal that some insiders are calling economic integration without annexation. Others, especially in Ottawa, are calling it a backdoor takeover. This comes just months after Trump joked about making Canada the 51st U.S. state, a remark dismissed at the time as humor, but now seen in a new light. With growing U.S. influence over Canadian exports and infrastructure, many Canadians are beginning to ask, is this partnership or pressure? Opposition leaders back in Ottawa immediately demanded answers. One senior MP reportedly said, "If Trump calls it friendship, I'd hate to see what hostility looks like." But others, particularly within Canada's struggling manufacturing sector, see opportunity. Ending the tariff war could mean billions in recovered revenue. And for Prime Minister Carney, it might be the economic win he needs to stabilize a fragile post-pandemic economy. Still, skeptics warn the price could be steep. According to leaked intelligence briefings from Canadian trade officials, the Trump administration is allegedly seeking joint control over Arctic defense operations, including radar systems, satellite tracking, and even joint bases near the Northwest Passage. That's something no Canadian government has ever allowed. If confirmed, it would mark the most significant shift in Canadian sovereignty since Confederation. Yet neither Trump nor Carney addressed these reports publicly, leaving journalists to speculate what was really agreed upon behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Trump's praise of Carney as a world-class leader sent shockwaves through Washington's political circles. Many see it as a strategic charm offensive, an attempt to bring Canada closer amid growing tensions with Europe and China. Others believe it's part of Trump's grand strategy, rebuild old alliances to prepare for new economic wars. As one U.S. official put it, when Trump calls you a friend, it's usually because he wants something big. Back in Ottawa, the mood is cautiously optimistic, but not everyone is convinced. Several anonymous government aides claim Carney's team is divided internally, with some warning against making any deal that could blur the line between partnership and dependence. One aide allegedly told a Canadian broadcaster, "The PM wants progress, but he won't sell the country's soul for a handshake. The comment quickly went viral online, with hashtags like hashtag Carney in DC, hashtag US-Canada deal, and hashtag Protect Sovereignty trending across Canadian social media. Yet in Washington, rumors swirl that Trump may be preparing to tie future U.S. tariffs to Canada's defense, spending, and immigration policies. Such a move would effectively give Washington leverage over Ottawa's domestic agenda, a move that could provoke serious backlash in Parliament. Trump's allies, however, say it's all part of a broader America First vision, one that rewards cooperation and punishes hesitation. As one senior advisor reportedly said, President Trump respects strength, and Carney has shown plenty of it. That's why this partnership might just work. But others fear it's a trap, a friendly smile masking an iron grip. For now, both leaders insist the talks were productive. Trump called Carney brilliant and steady, while Carney described Trump as a transformative leader shaping a new global order. Yet for Canadians watching closely, the question remains, what did their Prime Minister promise in return for that praise? Was it simply the start of a renewed alliance? Or the beginning of something far more dangerous? A slow surrender of independence under the guise of friendship? One thing is certain, this meeting wasn't just about trade. It was about power and perception, about whether Canada can stand shoulder to shoulder with a superpower without being overshadowed. And as Trump's convoy departed the White House lawn, reporters caught one final glimpse of Carney, expression unreadable, eyes fixed ahead. A man walking the razor's edge between cooperation and capitulation. In that moment, it was clear. Behind the smiles, behind the handshakes, a new chapter in U.S.Canada relations has begun, and no one truly knows where it will lead. In the coming weeks, negotiators from both nations will work day and night to hammer out the details. Tariffs, pipelines, security, every topic is on the table. But make no mistake, Trump's words, world-class leader, were not just praise. They were a signal that Canada is once again in Washington's spotlight. The real question is whether Carney can navigate that spotlight without being burned by it. Because in global politics, flattery is never free.